So we are live. I guess it's not going to do a countdown like I thought. So here we are. I want to welcome everybody. My name is C, and I am the owner of CLM Custom Designs on Etsy, and I have a YouTube channel that's all about crafting. I want to welcome you if you've been here before. Thanks for showing up again. And if you're new, come on in and take a seat and let's get ready to learn something. I want to welcome you to my new segment on my YouTube channel, and I can officially introduce the name now because for a long time I didn't have a name. But the name of this segment is From the Ground Up. And that name was chosen because that's how we grow our small businesses. In honor of that, I have created a t-shirt that says, hopefully you can see, small businesses. This is how we build, and it says From the Ground Up. So you will be seeing me in this shirt during our segments, and I will have a gift shirt for all my featured small business owners as well. So this segment is going to run on my channel twice a month. Every 2 weeks, I'll be introducing you to a new small business owner. So make sure you hit that notification button and subscribe so you don't miss anything that I drop, in addition to all the other content that I have on my channel. But let's get to it. I now want to introduce you to my first guest on this segment. Her name is Serena King. Woo!
Hi, everybody.
She is the owner of King's Crafty Design on Etsy. So, Serena, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Well, thank you for having me. Be your first guest on your segment. I'm excited to see all of the other people that come on the show as well. So, like you said, my name is Serena, and I am the owner of King's Crafty Designs on Etsy. And a little bit about myself: I'm a crafter that turned into a small business entrepreneur. So I've always had a full-time job outside of crafting. So entrepreneurship was not something that, I ever really, it wasn't on my radar. So until I fell down the Cricut rabbit hole, like a lot of us have. Mm-hmm. So
it's a deep hole.
Once I got my Cricut, like everybody else, I started out making stuff for myself, friends, family, and then eventually I would make gifts for my coworkers. And people, they liked the items, and they would say, you should sell this stuff, because I was just giving them as gifts. You should open an Etsy shop. So eventually, that's what I did. I opened up my shop in December of 2019. But at first, it was just word of mouth selling. So you and I, we used to scrapbook together back in the day, like early mid 2000s. We used to scrapbook together, and that's really where my Cricut story began. But we were the traditional scrapbookers. We had the scissors, the paper cutters, all the gadgets that we used for scrapbooking. So.
And we thought we were high tech back then.
Oh yeah. I would visit. I had my bag. You gave me a lot of stuff. Carry my bag over to your house. Those were fun times. But one day, my husband came home with this gift for me, and it was this machine called a Cricut. And I probably saw it in Walmart before, but never really gave it a second glance. So he brought it home, and I started using it. You plug it in, and it kind of felt. We like the traditional scrapbooking. So, here it is. You plug this machine in, and it does all the stuff for you. But like, what kind of fun is that? So I used it a little. I didn't use it a lot. But eventually, our scrapbooking kind of faded off, probably because, we stopped printing pictures out. You get the digital camera, and the pictures never come out. So scrapbooking kind of faded off for us. So eventually the Cricut, it went back in the box and eventually made its way to the back of my closet. So fast forward to 2018, my best friend back in Ohio, she was coming to visit. And so I wanted to make her this basket full of everything that she loves. And so,
actually, I see her in the chat, so we can give Doobie a shout out. Hey, Marie. And I'm sorry if you guys are putting stuff in the chat, because I am really new to this whole live streaming. And I don't know how to answer you. I can see them, I think. So just know I'm reading them, and I will respond if you ask the question, but I don't know how to type. That's too much. So go ahead.
So Marie. So she was coming to visit, and I wanted to make her this big basket. I did make her this big, pretty basket, and decorated everything. And I was almost done, but then I remembered that, like, oh, I have this Cricut. So I dug it out the closet, and so I started to use it. I was able to cut stuff out. It had these little cartridges. I don't know if anybody out there remembers this machine, but so I said, oh, let me go out in the internet and see what other cartridges are out there, so I can, get some cool stuff. Surely all these years later they should have more cartridges. So I Googled and probably put in Cricut cartridges or something, and it was hilarious because I went and I was like, no mention of cartridges or Cricut anything. This whole world came, the new Cricut, this whole digital world appeared. So of course I was intrigued, but it was just hilarious. Like, okay, that's when I found out that my machine was a dinosaur.
And good thing, because they were so cumbersome. I mean, it was a whole lot of contraptions to that. I don't know that we would have ever even gotten into it if that was the machine we had to stay on.
Yeah. So, but the machine is still in the family. My aunt, she said, I'll take it. So the next time she visited, I packed it up and I gave it to her. So the machine is still in the family.
All right. All right.
So, yeah. So that's how I found out about this new world of Cricut. And I've just been in the rabbit hole ever since. So, yeah, like I said, in December of 2019, that's when I opened the shop. And my name is on the banner, but it's King's Crafty Designs on Etsy. And I sell a lot of gifts like tote bags, personalized gifts, like tote bags, journals, makeup bags, mugs, tumblers, all kind of things, and all kinds of styles and many color options.
Yeah. So guys, make sure you take down her website. Again, it's King's Crafty Design, no spaces, on Etsy. You see what's capitalized, put that in, and she should pop up. You and I are in the same space. So, and little known secret, you actually introduced me to Cricut. You came over my house one day and you brought this machine. Did you bring it to my house? No, I came to your house. Came over mine. Yeah. That's what happened. It's like, hey, you got to check out this new machine. Like, this thing is awesome. Like, it been scrapped. I'm like,
join me in the rabbit hole. That's what I said.
And I had never even heard of it. So I go over there and you have this machine out, and I was blown away at the things that it was doing. And I think at the time, your sister-in-law also had one, and you were talking about the things that she was doing. And I see her in the chat too. Hey, Tim. Hey. So I was hooked. I was just hooked. I was like, I want it and everything that goes along with it. So I do have you to thank for, I guess, even being here, because that Cricut sent me on this journey to be right here today.
Sure did.
All right, great. So let's move on. Let's talk about the challenges that you face opening the business.
All right. So, okay. So how was it opening the shop? So,
talk about I already had opening the shop.
Okay. Yeah. So I already had a small inventory stocked up from, selling word of mouth. So before I opened the shop, I had to do all the research I could to even learn how to open the shop. I watched tons of YouTube videos and Googled help, how to open up a shop, because I didn't know anybody personally who had a shop. So I couldn't ask, questions to them. So I had to spend a lot of time to get, the answers to these questions. So for the first 4 months, it was crickets. No one bought anything. But that gave me time to, be able to still do research and make improvements, pictures and things like that.
Products and kind of designs and stuff together.
Yeah. So, and I actually, when I did finally get my first sale, it was in April of 2020. And I missed the little cash register sound that comes out because I had my phone on mute.
Oh, wow.
So when I picked my phone up, I saw an email message from Etsy, and it said, "Congratulations on your first sale." So I'm like, oh my goodness. I was so excited, like everyone else is when they get their first sale.
Now, was it someone you knew? Was it someone you didn't know?
No. Oh. Yeah, those kind of hit different,
Yeah, they do. They do. They hit different.
Yeah, so it was a customer that found my shop.
Nice.
And so I was so excited. I'm like, Charles, I got my first sale. And so that went on, throughout the rest of the day. And then it settles in like, Oh my goodness, I got my first
I gotta
sale.
make
You
it
kind
now,
of
right?
scared, yeah. Yeah. Um, and again, that was back in the pandemic had just started. So
Yeah.
that sale came through, and it actually, because the post office was, the whole world was in a
Locked. Yeah.
topsy-turvy. So it took forever for her to get her package. And I was so scared, like, please don't lose this lady's package. And she was, she was cool. We messaged back and forth, and she eventually got it. And I never heard from her again. So that's a good thing.
That's a good
Sometimes
thing.
people don't leave reviews, but that's fine.
No news is good news.
Yeah. So after that, it was quiet again. But it was actually you. You probably remember. You suggested that I make graduation tumblers.
Mhm.
That's what I did. The pandemic had just started, so stores were closed, and so people were forced to shop online. So I made 2 tumblers for you. You had a boy and a girl graduate that you knew. So I made those. I took the photos, took them outside, took all kind of photos, and I listed them in my shop. And then the shop exploded. It just got so busy from
Yeah.
people, individual sales, schools, everything. So many people were trying to get these tumblers. They were having drive-by graduations, and everyone remembers, how it was
Yeah.
back then. So yeah, I was super busy from like May to July making all of these orders. And at the time I was working full time at home, 100% at home. So during the day, I did my 9 to 5 job, and then I would log out, and then I would have to go take a nap. I love my naps. Everybody in this chat,
It is a
at least
must.
2 people, I love my naps. So I would take a nap, and then I would get up in the evening, get up after my nap and go down and start working on these orders late into the night sometimes to fulfill all these orders and get them out the door, until I can, get them all made. So that towards the end of the summer, it kind of died down after that. And then it picked back up during the holiday season.
It looks like it's a lot of ebb and flow when it comes to
Yeah.
those type of stores. But let me just ask you this before we move on. Let me
Sure.
say this. I know you, right? I know you're a perfectionist.
Yes.
So I want to know. I want to know what it's like making these things and your nerves, and now you got this first sale, and this is what you've been gearing up for, but now you got to make it, right? And you got to and all. So what is that like? That pressure now that I got to produce this perfect.
Yeah. I have gotten better. I have what I call a threshold, because, and I've, we both, you shared a post with me, and I had actually saw it too on Facebook, where our eye is different from the customer's eye, so little things, if it's something blatant, or I have a threshold where if it passed my threshold, then I know it's fine.
Yeah.
So, but it is, being a perfectionist, it is hard sometimes to overlook minor things. I'm not saying like big things where, there's a scratch on the book or something like that, but just little tiny things. So I've gotten a lot, not a lot better, but I've gotten better.
But the thing is, you have to realize when you go into business, this is your reputation.
Exactly.
This is your name.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to make sure what you're putting out there is what you want people to know about you. Because you only
right, and it's always sorry.
No. I was just saying you only get one chance to make that first impression.
Right.
And like you said on Etsy, there's reviews. So
that's what I was going to say. It's always the fear of that bad review. So you always have that hanging over your head.
Got you. So since we've touched on it a little bit, I guess we can go into some of the challenges that you have opening a small business. And now you also mentioned that it was during the pandemic, which is a challenge in of itself. So kind of talk a little bit about those challenges from a small business perspective.
Yeah. Well, before I talk about the challenges, and then you say the pandemic, excuse me, because I worked from home, and there was no commute. So that actually, to start a shop, that was actually kind of ideal.
Yeah.
To start a shop during that time. Because I was here. There was nothing else to do. But yeah, the challenges of opening up the shop. Initially, of course, trying to figure out how do you open up a shop. Like what's the best way to take photos, or what photo editing software should you use? Do you need photo editing software? All of that, things like that. I had to research, and then I learned a lot over time, and as you know, continue to learn stuff by watching tons of YouTube videos in the beginning, even now. And back then, sometimes I would subscribe to like monthly subscriptions to, there's a lot of people who have Etsy businesses and they sell programs. I've done that. I've subscribed to some of those. I've paid for like an Etsy SEO ranking website service for a couple of months. I did that. And like I said, I'm still learning things today. And I recently got into Canva, as you know, and Tiffany knows too in the chat. I'm in that rabbit hole now. I love Canva. Yeah. So there's always, learning that'll take place in this crafting business. So for that reason, because I had to spend so much time learning and finding the answers for stuff, I'm glad that I can be a resource for you. And Tiffany in the chat, she just started her shop as well. That it's so much easier when you can pick up the phone and call somebody to ask simple stuff. You're going to do your own research anyway on things, but sometimes it's just easier to pick up the phone. It's nice to have somebody that can answer. And I didn't have any of that. So.
I have to stop right here and say thank you, because you definitely kind of paved the way for me.
Yeah.
To get on Etsy, and anybody who knows me, just like they know you like to take a nap.
Don't like to read.
No, I don't like to read. I want the answer to jump out and snatch me by my chest. And if it don't, then I'm probably on the phone calling somebody. Although I've gotten a little bit better with that piece of it, but I definitely have to say that you were definitely an awesome resource, and we still kind of bounce things off of each other and things like that. But the reason why these conversations are important is not just to get to know who you are personally. That is great, and we want to know who we're buying from, right? Because you want to know that person. But we also want to help people to appreciate that when you're entering into this business world, it's not just about the reaping of it, the sales and the money and the things that comes with time, right? So you have to understand that there's a process. Like you said, when you first started, it was crickets. You didn't hear anything. Well, that didn't make you shut down your shop. You said, well, I'm going to use this time and I'm going to research. I'm going to get to know what I need to do here and there. I'm going to take pictures. I'm going to do something else. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And it's an investment that you have to make in yourself and your business. So we want people to appreciate from these segments the positive parts of the business, yes, but the struggles that come with the business too. It's not easy. It's a development over time.
Absolutely. So let's see, another challenge: space in your house. You're working from your house. You don't have a brick and mortar store out there. This is a small business, so you start out in your house. So this is my diva den right here, my lovely diva den. So, but when I first started, it was / craft room. So all of the the space, and so I had to work in here at first. So along with the dining room, because we're in a pandemic, so nobody's coming over to the house. So the dining room was turned into a storage place where I had inventory and boxes and everything. But my lovely husband, he's also my business partner. So he cleared out some space down in the basement for me and set me up really nice. So now I call it the shop, or my lab is down in the basement. Now I have everything down there. I create all of my things down there. My inventory and shipping supplies are all down there. So now I have my serene space back.
Good. Yeah.
So my business partner, like I said, Charles, he's a really smart guy. So he handles all of the business side of so we haven't talked about that part yet. There's the business side, all the paperwork and the taxes, and so he does that. So he's the business side of things, and so he also researches products and pricing and where to buy things and all of that. So I'll let him know, I have my finger on the pulse of what's new and exciting out there, along with you. You always send me things. Look at this.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'll let him know the things that I want to sell, and he'll go out and he'll look for the products and price everything, and he even comes up with good ideas himself. So some of the things that are on the shop are because of him.
Yeah, I definitely say he's a good resource too, because he definitely gets down to the nitty gritty, and he's got that overseas thing down pat. And I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
Charles, tell me who I should use, what I should do,
Uh-huh.
and all of that. And I'm looking in the chat, and I see where Tiffany's saying she struggled with putting content out. There's so many ideas that I have, but I sometimes get behind. I'm gonna just speak to that 1 second, Tiffany, because I'm probably a lot like you in the sense of I got so many ideas. I'm always trying to do something else. Before I can do one thing, I done bought something to do the next thing, and then the next thing, and, the next. And so even as I sit around and I'm looking in my space, I'm like, I don't need to buy another thing until I, produce what I have here. Because it's not just making it, like you said. Then you gotta take photos and you gotta upload it. It's a whole process. So, you know, I think we all can go down that rabbit hole, like you were saying, Serena. And so I think what happens, what might be a good way to kind of flush that out, is just decide for the month. This month, I'm going to focus on this. I'm going to make sure I have this up on my shop and this. And until I have this up, I'm not going to address anything else. However, now somebody wants something custom on the side, that may throw you into something else, right? But as far as your shop, I would just focus on maybe a couple of items, maybe 2 items a month that you really want to get up on your shop. You want to get the photographs up and all of that, and that may help in that situation.
I think I'm kind of the opposite of you two. I kind of get focused on one thing, so I have to, I'll write ideas down in a notebook. Things will come to me, or Charles will give me ideas, and I'll say, send me a text so that I can remember it, and I'll write things down, that I can so that I can remember, like, oh, okay, I said I wanted to work on this, or I'll see an idea and I want to make something for it. And two, what can help too is working towards the next season of shopping. People
Right.
are going to be shopping for the holiday season coming up, or fall. I love fall decor and all of that. So
yes, you are a pumpkin girl.
Trying to be ahead of that can help too.
Yeah. I think something else you may want to keep in mind too is it's great to have a lot of things, but you got to perfect one thing really, really good. Because when I first got started, I got caught up in doing so many things that I kind of was lacking on the quality of some things because I was moving so fast. So sometimes you have to slow down. You have to perfect the quality of what you're doing, and you have to drive your market to that. Because when you're making things, you got to think about who this is for. Like you were saying, gearing it towards the holidays, graduation, whatever that is, right? So you got to make sure that you're driving into that, making sure that you're getting that consistency before you shift kind of to something else, because people are the same way. When you give them too many choices, like when I go in a donut shop or something and it's too many choices, I might walk out with nothing because it's like overload, right? So kind of narrow it down for them, make sure your shop is clean, and then that makes an easier shopping experience too.
Exactly.
But so we talked about some of the challenges. Let's talk about some of the good things that business did for you, and what we got to look forward to, and all that great stuff with KCD.
Sure. So it's going really, really well. I would say that I'm really enjoying, learning the different softwares and things. Like I said, I'm in love with Canva right now, and so I made some new things, and I'm really excited about those. And actually, it sprung from a custom order. A lady ordered something from,
which you don't do. No,
I don't do. I don't do. I didn't do.
Right.
So she ordered something that was already on my shop, but then she messaged me. She's a teacher, and she messaged me and she says, "Can you make one for?" There's an art teacher, a Spanish teacher. She's the band director, and then there's the choir director. And she said, because I didn't see anything, on your shop. Do you have some? I'm like, no, I don't. It's not on my shop. I don't have it. And normally I'll just, I did go out and I looked.
Yeah.
And, but because I had Canva, I said, well, this will be my perfect opportunity to go ahead and, try. So I love it. And I made the cutest little, she loved them too. She did buy them. And so that was a custom order. And,
Yes.
that's a whole nother discussion about talking about custom orders.
You
But
know, I know that.
yes, it
You know, I
did.
know that.
Yeah, you are the custom queen. It's in your name. So you can't back away from it.
Sometimes I like to though, but yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
But
So that was exciting. I was really proud of my little
and
tumblers.
and I was proud of you too, because first of all, it had never even dawned on me to put Spanish words on there. I
Yeah.
was like, wow, that is
I was like, I
awesome.
hope this is right. I Googled. She got them. She didn't message me and say this is spelled wrong.
Right. So I was super proud of you because I know you don't like custom designs. You're very kind of in your niche.
Yeah.
So I was very glad to see you reach
Yeah.
because sometimes, and that's the good thing. I talk about that all the time. Customers will push you. Customers will, and that's the way to expand your business too. Because sometimes you stay in that box, you might hear crickets. It's not till you open the door
Right.
and you
You
can get
know me though.
something.
I'll be like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm fine. Yeah,
But
but
no,
I still get excited every time I hear the cash register sound go off, and I'm excited to interact with the customer on the other end. Because as you all know, and everybody in the chat, well, the two that I know that are in there, I'm the planner of the family. So I love when it's time to take a vacation. I'm all over the internet looking at this and looking at that. So actually, when the customers come and they're planning a girls' trip or bridesmaids proposal boxes, and they're, we're interacting and they're asking questions, that's fun. That's actually fun for me. I enjoy it. So I've gotten so many stories and memories from the customers who will message me and tell me, I gave this to my sister and she loved it. And so it feels good to make someone happy with, something that I made and, and sent it out there to the public. So it never gets old. It's still fun. And it still feels like a hobby, because I enjoy it. And sometimes I have to, remind myself, yes, it feels like a hobby, but it is still, a business, and have to be mindful of cost. But I have my business partner, like I
we're
said,
definitely mindful.
Tiffany knows too. He'll put that hat on, the business partner hat. But it's a nice checks and balance that we have.
But it's nothing better than to love what you do.
Right. Yeah.
It's nothing better. Even that sometimes supersedes profit and all of that. And that's why you said you got to be mindful of the money, because sometimes you're so in love with what you're doing that you don't think about what it's costing you. But that's a great feeling though. Because not everybody gets to do that. And I always say in our real lives, which means in our 9 to 5, we don't typically love what we do. That's just what we have to do. So it's nice to have something that we absolutely love to do. And what I'm hearing you say is, don't be afraid to get into business, but understand what you're getting into, right? So
exactly,
your homework, get your checks and balances, just kind of really do research before you kind of jump in and know that. And so there's that part of it. It comes with stresses and anxieties or whatever, but you get over that bridge and you get to the fun part where you begin to love what you do. So
absolutely. And because we both work full time, so I try to keep the volume and the inventory on my shop at a certain level to where I won't get like this mass. Not that I'm not popular out there, but you never know.
You will be after this, maybe.
If I put quantity 50 out there may be someone who would come and buy 50 at one time, and that's just not something that's sustainable for me because of working full time. So I keep the volume at a manageable level. So because we have business, but we have our life outside of business. So I don't want it to become something that I dread and don't want to do it. I want it to always be my outlet, my happy place. I have
you stole my saying. Okay, I'll share.
This is from my 20th anniversary. That was 5 years ago. So
okay. So you're saying I stole it from you?
You took mine, yes.
All right.
But I'll let you have it.
We can share. But that's a good segue into our next thing, because now we want to talk about what's going on in the future for your business. Because, like you mentioned, not everybody wants to be a millionaire off their business. Not everybody wants to grow it to such a capacity. That's the great thing about business. You get to decide where you want to go and how you want to do it. So tell us what's going on and what's next, what exciting new trends, what's going on.
Well, I plan to, just keep going as long as my time and circumstances permits. This, like I said, it's a hobby business, hobby slash craft. So I just plan on keep, designing and coming up with new items to put in the shop, and eventually, whatever this pandemic or the new pandemic is doing, I eventually want to get out and do some in-person vending events. That would be
Nice.
fun. Yeah.
Nice.
And
Nice.
because actually, remember, we were going to do one right before was it before? What happened
Pandemic
that we
hit.
didn't? Oh, no, you know what? We went one year and we said, oh, next year we'll do it. Well, next year was 2020, and we know how that turned out.
We know how that
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah. But one other thing, I am dipping my toes into Pinterest. But again, that's everything that we want to expand and venture out into has a learning curve to it, and time, and it's a time investment. So I have started dabbling in Pinterest, so picking that, back up and getting with that, and social media. That's probably right now. Pinterest would probably be the most for me. I used to be on
Keep
Instagram.
talking. I thought my laptop was plugged in, but clearly that
Oh, okay, yeah,
red
this
battery
will all be
said it's
over.
not. So give me a second.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Instagram and things like that. I may eventually, pick it up and run with that. But for now, just Pinterest. I like that.
Okay, I'm back. See,
All
I
right.
told you I was new at this.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's great. I'm going to look at some of these questions in the chat because people got questions for you. So
Oh, okay.
Tiffany wanted to know how many orders on average a week are you doing? So that's a question you can answer for her.
Of course, she knows. She knows that it varies. It varies by season. Like right now, I can actually, when we came back from vacation, it's just pockets of busy. I don't know if Christmas in July is really a thing, but when Tiffany and I we just came back from vacation right in the beginning of July, and all of a sudden it was busy. So, and in that week, in those couple of weeks, it might have been 10 in the week, something like that. It was pretty busy. The holidays is different. That last November was like the pandemic. It was really busy around that time. But if it's just like a slow kind of season, for me, maybe in a week, 3, maybe something like that. Yeah. So it depends, and you'll ask people, certain people, or you'll watch a channel. Some channels will say for Etsy, renewing your listings helps. And some people will say that doesn't help. So you just look at different strategies as you do your research.
Yeah.
And see and you just try it. If they say, okay, renewing your listings helps. All right, it's 20 cents. I'll just pick a few of my listings and renew them and to see what happens.
Right. Yeah, it is. That's one thing about Etsy. It's just depends on the algorithms and
yeah, unless you pay. So some people pay for ads, which
Yeah.
I have never done. Excuse me. So those, you'll see for other people out there to see this in the future. You will see certain channels where, and I love to watch them when I'm working late in the evening. Sometimes I'll put on a channel, work with me on Etsy orders.
Right.
And as I'm working on my orders, I'm watching them, or they have them in the background, and they're like, I have like 40 orders to complete today. Like, then I said, okay, they're paying for ads, which is, it's fine if you can, do that. I don't, have the luxury to do that, or I don't want to do that at this time because, people can learn, you have to pay daily, for that. So.
And sometimes those 3 orders might consist of 20 items. I mean, it may only be 3 or so orders, but they're really big orders.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh, I think my niece said, "Oh, hey, auntie, you go, auntie." I have a lot of nieces and nephews, but I think that's my little Kaylee. I think
probably.
No, she texts me on the phone.
Let's see. Tiff is saying, since this is my first year, what should be the lead time for gearing up for the seasons, back to school and holidays? Well, actually, back to school, you should have already started.
Right. We're in fall now, Tiff.
Yeah, we in the thick of it. But
it's still time, though.
Yeah, there's still time. So go ahead and get started. But actually, the irony of it is, right now, I will be starting my graduation stuff for school, to be honest.
Your what?
My graduation stuff. I will be thinking what I want to put out for graduation.
Okay.
Because there are people who are now looking towards that. When you have a child, and Tiff, you know this because your daughter just graduated, when you know they're in their senior year, your thoughts start focusing on that. Right.
Marie too in the chat. She did.
Marie too. Yeah. Your thoughts are right now like, okay, I got this senior. It's a year, but that year goes like boom, boom, boom.
That's true. Yeah.
So I will be thinking about what I want to display. I will start telling my people, this is what's coming out, kind of prepping them so that when we get there, everything is ready to hit the ground, running. So that would be my advice.
And definitely right now for fall, Tiff, I'm starting in on my fall things. And then as far as like, I don't, have any like holiday theme stuff in my shop, but the holiday season is coming up. So inventory, I've already gotten inventory up and thinking about, and my business partner, he's asking me, what do you need? So I'm getting ready for that because like I said, with shipping and all of that and a topsy-turvy right now. So just setting yourself up is really good so that you don't run out of stuff when the customers are there.
Yeah. So at least make sure you have your inventory, especially if you're ordering from overseas, because it may take that long for your stuff to get to you. So at least have your products on hand so that you're ready when that time comes. Mine is a little different because I do a lot of customs, and yes, I do have an Etsy store, but probably if you look on Etsy, you would probably say she's going out of business because she doesn't have that many sales on Etsy. But most of my sales come in directly to me because
you're still busy.
Yeah, I'm still busy, but it's a lot of custom stuff, so it doesn't really travel through Etsy. Hence, I'm looking at maybe going to Shopify and things like that, but that's a conversation for another time. I said that we was going to be 30 minutes. I think we've exceeded that by a little bit, and my apologies.
Oh, see, that's because we're girlfriends. So we got the other girlfriends and
we got people in the chat. So I'm super excited because I'm chatting. I'm all up in the chat. I didn't figure this thing out.
Like, oh yeah, this is live.
Watch out now. I'm dangerous. I know just enough.
Yeah, well, I enjoyed this. I'm excited for you. I was nervous, of course. Everybody knows I was nervous, but it feels like a conversation.
Yes, just a simple conversation. So I'm just gonna thank everybody for tuning in. I'm gonna say again, the name of the new segment is From the Ground Up. I now have a T-shirt. I'll
pick mine up tomorrow.
I will have this gift made for you.
Thank you.
As a thank you gift for coming on, and not just coming on, but being my very first. Again,
thank you. I enjoyed it.
This is how we build. #from the ground up, and you see the bricks, and that's exactly what we do. We just do it for the ground up. So thank you guys for stopping in. I appreciate it. I'm glad that this first segment is under my belt.
Yeah, you did great.
And again, this is going to be twice a week. If you know anybody,
twice a what?
I lied. Twice a month. So if you know anybody else that want to be interviewed, Marie, I think I got you lined up. Tiffany, I'm hoping I can get you on the schedule. Olivia, I would love to have you on as well. And not to mention, I would also love to do a collab. I'm just throwing that out there. But anyway, I appreciate guys your support. I love all the questions in the chat.
Thank you, everybody.
Serena, thank you so much for spending some time with me this evening, especially because we are in a thunderstorm and it is raging outside.
Oh, it moved to you because before we started, it was over my house. Now you got it. But we made it through with no problem.
We did. It was awesome. Okay, so on that note, I am going to end the broadcast. Say bye to everybody. Appreciate it. Thank you. Comment, and subscribe, and share my channel with anybody else who you think would benefit from the type of content that I have. I'm working on getting to 500 subscribers, guys, so help me out. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.